Hi friends, this is your Yoganandam, biology lecturer from Medal Academy YouTube channel. So in this class, let us discuss about the topic digestive glands from the topic digestion and absorption. So in the previous class, we have discussed about our alimentary canal, which are the parts are present in our alimentary canal that we have discussed in the last class. So in this class, let us discuss about the glands which are associated with our digestive system. So you all know there are how many glands are associated with our alimentary canal. There are 5 glands are associated with our digestive system. Try to remember what are the 5 glands: salivary gland, gastric gland, intestinal gland, pancreas, liver. So these are the 5 glands are associated with our alimentary canal. That means our digestive system. So these glands are together called as digestive glands. All these 5 glands together secrete the name of the juice which is called as digestive juice. So from this topic, we are going to discuss one by one all these 5 glands. First, we are going to discuss about salivary gland. Try to remember about the salivary gland. So there are how many pairs of salivary glands are present in our digestive system? Parotid gland, sublingual gland, submaxillary. Parotid gland is the largest salivary gland. Sublingual gland, smallest one. Submaxillary, it is otherwise called as submandibular gland. Salivary glands secrete saliva. All these 3 pairs of salivary glands together secrete saliva. Saliva contain nearly 99.5% water, mucin, enzymes like salivary amylase. It is otherwise called as a ptyalin. Salivary amylase act on starch broken into maltose, and lysozyme. Lysozyme digests the cell wall of bacterial cell and electrolytes charged particles such as sodium, potassium, chlorine, bicarbonate, etc. So try to remember. Totally there are how many pairs of salivary glands are present? 3 pairs of salivary glands are present. Name the salivary glands. If there is infection, that means if the viral infection takes place in the parotid gland, which causes mumps. See the diagrammatic representation that very clearly given with the help of a picture. It is followed by gastric glands. Gastric glands are always called as tubular glands found on the inner wall of stomach. So what is the shape of gastric gland? The tubular in shape. Gastric glands are made up of 3 kinds of cells such as mucous neck cells, Chief cells. Chief cells are otherwise called as zymosin or peptic cells, and oxyntic cells. Oxyntic cells are otherwise called as parietal cells. So first we have discussed about salivary gland followed by gastric gland. The gastric gland, what is the nature of gastric gland? Tubular shape, made up of how many types of cells? Mucous neck cells, chief cells. Chief cells are otherwise called as zymosin or peptic cells. Oxyntic cells are otherwise called as parietal cells. Mucous neck cells secrete mucus and bicarbonates protect the stomach wall from HCl and prevent auto-digestion. As of you know, the oxyntic cells or parietal cells secrete HCl and Castle's gastric factor. So HCl, you know what will do in our stomach? HCl will be disintegrate our inner lining layer of our alimentary canal in the stomach. The inner lining layer of our stomach is called as mucus. So these oxyntic cells secrete HCl. HCl disintegrate our mucous membrane in the stomach. So which protects our stomach from HCl? Mucus. Mucus and bicarbonates protect the stomach wall from HCl and prevent auto-digestion. Then what is the role of chief cells or zymosin cells or peptic cells? Chief cells secrete inactive enzymes like pepsinogen, prorenin, and lipase. So in the stomach, there are three enzymes are secreted in inactive form: pepsinogen, prorenin, and lipase. Gastric glands secrete acidic pH. So the pH range is 1.8 to 2. Gastric juice 99.5% water and 0.5% residual substances. So gastric juice contain 99.5% water and 0.5% the remaining things, enzymes, everything. It is followed by the liver. Is the third gland associated with our digestive system. Liver is the largest gland. The weight of the liver is 1.5 kilogram. Color of liver is reddish brown. It is bilobed. See the diagrammatic representation. It has divided into two lobes: large right side lobe and small left side lobe. Why it is larger in size towards right side and why it is smaller in size towards left side? You know the reason: due to the presence of heart. Each lobe has separated into numerous hepatic lobules. While you're seeing the internal structure of our liver, it has divided into numerous lobes, is numerous branches, which are the functional units. So that is given very clearly in this diagrammatic representation. See the internal structure of liver. How does it is divided into branches? The branches are called as lobules, hepatic lobules. These hepatic lobules are made up of cells, which are called as hepatic cells. Each lobule made up of hepatic cells arranged in the form of radiating plates. See this diagrammatic representation. How does it is arranged in this diagrammatic representation? So radiating plates around the central vein. Between these plates are blood-filled hepatic sinuses are there. See the diagrammatic representation. Liver sinusoid is given. Kupffer cells in the sinusoids engulf and remove bacteria, damaged cells, etc. from blood. So you all know from the digestive system, whichever the particles, whichever the molecules are transported to heart, that can be transported through liver only. So if the blood contain any microorganism or any other, that can be killed by Kupffer cells, which are found in the hepatic lobules. Liver lobule is covered by a layer which is called as Glissen's capsule. Each lobule covered by a layer which is called as Glissen's capsule. See the diagrammatic representation. What is the main function of liver? Liver secrete bile. So bile is transported to hepatic duct, poured into hepatic duct. From hepatic duct, it is poured into gallbladder. From gallbladder, it is transported into cystic duct. From cystic duct, it is transported to bile duct. From bile duct, it is transported to common hepatopancreatic duct. And finally poured into duodenum. So bile juice finally poured into duodenum through a common duct, which is called as hepatopancreatic duct. Because of hepatic juice, that is bile juice, and pancreatic juice, both poured into duodenum through a common pathway, which is called as hepatopancreatic duct. This hepatopancreatic duct guarded by sphincter of Oddi is an important point to try to remember. Hepatopancreatic duct guarded by the name of the guard, which is called as sphincter of Oddi. Hepatic cells secrete alkaline bile juice. Whether bile is having any enzyme? No, bile is not having any enzyme, but contain bile pigments such as bilirubin and biliverdin, bile salts, cholesterol, and phospholipids. It is followed by pancreas. The second largest gland which are associated with our digestive system are called as pancreas. Pancreas is located near duodenal lobe. So try to remember what is the shape of duodenum. C-shaped. So in this duodenal lobe is located. What is the color of pancreas? Cream colored. It is commonly called as heterocrine gland. It acts as both exocrine and endocrine. The exocrine part is located towards periphery. So the diagrammatic representation outside is commonly called as pancreatic acini. The middle part is commonly called as the endocrine part. Endocrine part is called as islets of Langerhans. The exocrine part has a pancreatic duct open into duodenum along with bile duct through a common pathway which is called as hepatopancreatic duct. Pancreas. The exocrine part secrete alkaline pancreatic juice. You know the alkaline and acidic. Alkaline means the pH is above 7. It contains inactive enzymes such as trypsinogen, chymotrypsinogen, and procarboxypeptidases, amylases, lipases, nucleases. So from this part, you try to remember saliva contain what are the enzymes, enzymes, gastric juice contain what are the enzymes, and liver, whether liver contain, liver secrete bile juice, whether bile juice contain any enzyme or not, followed by pancreas. The pancreas secrete pancreatic juice. The pancreatic juice contains several inactive enzymes. Name the inactive enzymes which are found in pancreatic juice. Everything you try to remember one by one. It is followed by the last gland which is called as intestinal gland. Some glands are present in the intestine itself. That means in the small intestine, the mucous membrane of small intestine contain certain glands which are altogether called as intestinal glands. Intestinal glands also is somewhat similar to gastric gland, tubular in shape. Simple means that is single. It is classified into two types: crypts of Lieberkühn and Brunner's gland. Crypts of Lieberkühn consist of mucus secreting goblet cells and enzyme secreting Pannett cells. See the diagrammatic representation. So intestinal crypt of Lieberkühn consists of, there are two types of cells: mucus secreting goblet cells and enzyme secreting Pannett cells. Like Brunner gland, it is called as duodenal gland. Is also important line. Try to remember, Brunner gland is called as duodenal gland. Confined to submucous of duodenum, secrete mucus only. So you try to remember, intestinal glands secrete alkaline intestinal juice. It is called as succus centricus. So all the intestinal glands together secrete alkaline juice, which is called as succus centricus. It contains enzymes such as maltase, lactase, sucrase, dipeptidase, lipases, nucleosidases, etc. The bicarbonate and mucus provide alkaline medium and protect intestinal mucosa. Here also, bicarbonate and mucus provide alkaline medium and protect intestinal mucosa. Same like the stomach, even the intestinal inner lining layer protected from HCl. Thank you very much for listening our videos. Those who are watching our videos, you are requested to like, subscribe and share to your friends. All the best. So in the next video, let us discuss about digestion of food. How does the food material digested in our digestive system? So that let us discuss in the next class.